Good morning. This is Reverend Lori Mack here. Happy Sunday morning. It is my pleasure to be with you with CSL Carlsbad and to talk about open-hearted gratitude, for this is the month of Thanksgiving. And it's important that we practice gratitude not only during those 2 weeks before Thanksgiving, but every day of our life, because gratitude is really the way to connect to your wholeness. It is so easy, it's free, and it brings so much good into your life. It brings prosperity, it brings happiness, it brings joy, it brings divine goodness. So this is one of my favorite topics. So before we get going, I think we should pray. I invite you to close your eyes and let's go within as I recognize that one power of deep gratitude that is everywhere in its fullest, that essence of love and joy and beauty that I expand out into the world. As I see the gratitude of God that is everywhere in its perfection, God creating through itself and as itself, God, the self-giving nature of wholeness, of goodness, of healing, of beauty. It is the essence of love and light that continues to pour into my life, where I am that one expression of wholeness. I am the expression of God. I am that expression of love and light. And as I continue to give gratitude to the world, to God for all the good that is in my life, more good continues to pour in. And as I know this is my perfect divine truth, I know this is the perfect divine truth for each person here who is listening to this call. Each person is that essence of love and beauty. Each person is an expression of God. And as each person is in their awareness of gratitude in God, they connect to their wholeness. Each person is prospering through the connection of gratitude, is joyful through the connection of gratitude. Gratitude heals all things in all situations. And I know that each and every person here opens their heart, their mind, and their soul to this morning's talk. And I know that gratitude is continually blessing each and every individual. And I release my word into the law, knowing that it is done, and it is beautiful, and it is right here and right now. And so it is. And so it is. Hello, beautiful people. I really miss you. I wish we were in person, but that's not the way it is. So I'm just going to be grateful that we do have Zoom, and we do have a way to connect, and we do have a way to continue to be grateful for all the good in our life. And as we are continue to be grateful for the good, and we're grateful for the pandemic, and we're grateful for the lessons and the blessings and the lessons, then we know that there's something greater that's manifesting right now in the world. And this is very, very magical. So I just want to start with a quote by Albert Einstein. So there's two ways to live your life: as though nothing is a miracle, or the other way is that everything is a miracle. And so we are here to discover that everything is a miracle in our life. There's a book that Louise Hayes wrote. It's called Gratitude, the Way of Life. And there's many New Thought leaders that wrote a story in this book. And then one of the stories that really pulled my attention was a story by Dr. Tom LaCosta, who is in Palm Desert. And he's a minister there, and he was talking about how he was counseling a man. And the man had everything that you can imagine. He had perfect health, and he was a tennis player. He had a professional career that he thrived in, and he was very wealthy. He was successful in every single area of his life. And Dr. Tom LaCosta just married him to a beautiful woman who was very devoted to her husband. And she had a beautiful family. But for some reason, he was still unhappy. And Dr. Tom really couldn't understand why, because most people come to him because they want something that they don't have. But for him, he's like, okay, how do I pray for this person? He has everything he wants. What could it be? And so as life unfolded, he was at a 12-step meeting. And during that 12-step meeting, they were working on step 5, where you tell your story of what happened to you up until step 1, where you admitted that you needed help, the assistance from your higher power or from God. And during that time, there was someone in the room who was half his age that said, you cannot be grateful and unhappy at the same time. You cannot be grateful and unhappy at the same time. And this just stopped Dr. Tom in his tracks. And he realized that he was spiritually stunned that this person who was half his age just taught him a very valuable lesson. So he realized that his client had everything that he ever wanted, but he was unhappy and he took everything for granted. It is the moment that we open our hearts and we're grateful for everything in our life, the good, bad, and the indifference, that we become joyful and we become happy. So Dr. Tom started to just recognize, the path of his life and how gratitude played out. And growing up to be a Catholic boy, he had a rosary bead. And so he took those rosary beads, and every morning and before he went to bed at night, he counted each bead, and each bead representing someone in his life that did something good for him, or maybe someone in his life who didn't do something good for him. It represented a family member, a friend. It represented his good health. A bead may have represented the wealth. And then he started, into the physical world, a bead representing maybe his home that he loved dearly, his car. A bead represented every part of his life and his pets that gave him unconditional love. And as he continued to give gratitude for everything in his life and to make it a daily practice, he saw that how joy and happiness continue to explode. He was overfilled with the love of God on a daily basis. And this quote that you cannot be grateful and unhappy at the same time became a quote that he used in workshops and talks while counseling people, that you cannot be grateful and unhappy at the same time. So no matter what's going on in your life, if we're just grateful, unconditionally grateful for what it is, even if it's not good or if it's challenging, it's amazing how it'll unfold easily and effortlessly. Like my favorite gratitude quote is by Melody Beattie, and she explains it in such a beautiful way that gratitude unlocks the fullness of life. It turns what we have into enough and more. It turns denial into acceptance, chaos into order, and confusion into clarity. It can turn a meal into a feast, a house into a home, a stranger into a friend. Gratitude makes sense of our past. It brings peace into today and creates a new vision for tomorrow, by Melody Beattie. What a beautiful explanation of gratitude. And you got to remember, gratitude's cheap. It doesn't cost any money. And the dividends are amazing. It just brings so many blessings into your life. Sometimes we have to remember to be in gratitude even when things aren't going well. Because when you're on a journey like, religious science, and you're on a self-growth journey of expanding, because we are spiraling in our growth process, we're not linear. We're always seeking to become better today than we were yesterday. And sometimes our consciousness might expand further out than what is expressing itself in our life. And so it's a time where we may be grieving an old way of being because we desire to be something bigger and greater and newer. And we have to be grateful for the changes and for the awareness of the changes that we are seeking in our life. And so it's okay to feel the sadness, or it's okay to feel the loss in order to allow something bigger to express in our life. But if we're grateful for what we are seeking, let's say we want to make more money, and we have an opportunity to make more money, but we have to leave the job that we're in right now. And we hate to leave that job because we love the people there. So you're going through a grievance process of leaving the job in order to step into something new. And this is what we call a healing crisis. And it's beautiful that we can use gratitude, knowing that when we're in a state of gratitude, no matter how down we get, you cannot be grateful and unhappy at the same time. It's like you can see life from the broader picture. And I just feel that grateful is gratitude is a grateful tool when you want to have change in your life, because there's so many times I see people that say, well, I'm not happy in my relationship, or I'm not happy in this job, I'm not happy where I am. Their consciousness may not have expanded to have more money, or to have a better job, or to have a better relationship. So they're stuck in the mud of being where they're at and focusing on their unhappiness. But during that time of I'm not happy where I'm at, instead, if we could turn that around and use gratitude, like, I'm grateful for my job, it pays my bills. It might not be as much as I want the money to come in, but I'm grateful for it. I'm grateful for that it serves my life right here and right now. Because when we become grateful for what we have that's not working in our life, what happens, something amazing happens, and you're not in control of it, but the universe turns everything around for you. Just for an example, in my personal life, I recently started to have difficulty with a tenant. And I thought, well, how am I going to get rid of these tenants? Because we're in COVID-19, you can't get rid of a tenant, and they couldn't pay their rent. But I know he had enough money to buy a house and do everything. And I know this tenant is very resourceful, and he's intelligent, and but he had a dog and other things in the house that were not on his lease. So anyways, instead of worrying about how I'm going to get rid of my tenant during COVID-19, I just sat in gratitude, and I prayed every single day for him to move into his greater good. And last night when I was sitting on the couch, I received an email that he gave me his 30-day notice. And I was like, oh, God is so good. It's amazing how we really don't ever have to worry about anything in our life. We just have to be in a state of gratitude at all times and love people, whether they're doing us right or doing us wrong. Just love them anyways. And they will end up vibrating right out of our life if they don't align with who we are and our consciousness. So, the golden thread of gratitude has dated back for centuries on end, and all through humankind. It's been preached and it's been practiced. It's been passed through continents and civilizations and cultures and different religions. There isn't one religion that doesn't practice gratitude. I think that is one of the main core of all the religion. One is love your neighbor as you love yourself, and the other one is the practice of gratitude. Matter of fact, theology defines religious experience as a profound human awareness of the grand design. Now, gratitude is really a religious experience if you live it daily. It's this profound human experience of the grand design. Now, you can be an atheist and practice gratitude and totally be connected to your wholeness. This is how powerful gratitude is. Muhammad quotes that gratitude for the abundance you received is the best insurance that the abundance will continue. So continue to be in abundance, and you'll continue to have abundance and gratitude in your life. The Buddha quotes, "The way to be free of the suffering was to live and find peace in the present moment, to end the constant search for something to fill the void, and instead just be happy with wherever you are right here and right now." Wow. Lao Tzu quotes, "If you rejoice in the way things are, the whole world will belong to you." Jesus always said thank you before he performed a miracle. Now, my favorite quote is by Ernest Holmes, of course. In everything give thanks. An attitude of gratitude is most sultry, and it bespeaks the realization that we are now in heaven. Gratitude is one of the chief graces of human existence, and it is crowned in heaven with a consciousness of unity. Wow. It is crowned in heaven with a consciousness of unity. And I remember years back, my ministerial teacher asked me to do my first workshop, and it was on gratitude. And I thought, well, if I want to give a workshop on gratitude, I better really understand what gratitude means. So I did a 30-day practice of writing love letters to all the people in my life. And after 30 days, I felt so connected to my wholeness. It was really the crown of the consciousness of unity. Truly is. So being grateful every single day. It has to be like a song that you play in the back of your mind. It has to be a practice. So there's a beautiful book I want to recommend to you. I love this book. It's called The Gratitude Jar, and it's by Josie Robinson. I think it only took me an hour to read, but it was so transformational. Yeah, it's about a woman who experienced poverty to prosperity. I mean, prosperity in every way in her life through love and joy and beauty and finances and connection with her family and her friends. She was a mother of two. She had a child in diapers and a little boy, 4 years old, and a husband. And she only worked one day a week, and they barely made enough money to get by. She had this feeling inside her that she really was no good to her family. I believe she had suicidal feelings, and she was super depressed. And when her husband got home, she would hand him the kids. She would go into the kitchen to make dinner, and she would start drinking. So she became an alcoholic in order to stuff her feelings and not quite sure how to deal with herself and her depression. And she went and saw a counselor who counseled her in a very affirmative way and changed her life forever. And she wrote this book and gave a 30-day account of practicing gratitude. It's called The Gratitude Jar by Josie Robinson. And her counselor told her every night before you go to bed to be grateful for something in your life. So let's say I'm grateful for my home, but it's not like I'm just grateful for my home and put that in the gratitude jar. I'm grateful for my home because, and then you make a list of all the reasons why. Because my home is peaceful, because it makes me feel good, because my home is safe, because I love my beautiful view, because I love the way that I decorated it. I am grateful for my home. And then I would put that paper into the gratitude jar. Now, they didn't have a gratitude jar. They were really poor, but they did have a Star Wars Easter basket that they used. And she had a son who was 4 years old, and she lost kind of connection with him because she was always paying attention to the baby who needed a lot of attention. He was in his diapers, and at night she would drink. So her and her 4-year-old son practiced this gratitude practice every single night together. And when you read the book, you'll see that this little boy became enlightened. And through this, enlightenment, this practice of gratitude, you really see that gratitude is something that has to be learned. It's not like our go-to state. Our go-to state is usually negativity. Something has to be learned on a daily basis to look at gratitude and be grateful for all the good that is in our life. And so eventually she ended up having an amazing job. They had more money than they could possibly imagine. They bought their dream home a year later, which they never thought that would ever happen to them. So much good came out of this 30 days of practicing gratitude through the gratitude jar. And I recommend it to you. I mean, any 30-day practice is just an amazing experience because it takes 21 days to change your consciousness. And by day 8, you're thinking to yourself, I don't even know who I am anymore. And there's a quote in there by Brene Brown. I don't have to chase extraordinary moments to find happiness. It's right in front of me if I'm paying attention and practicing gratitude. Which leads me to a really fun spiritual practice that I've been practicing lately, and I want to share it with you. As a matter of fact, I am going to be doing a 15-day practice of thankfulness. Yeah, thankfulness, because when you're filled with gratitude, all the love and the joy and the beauty and the prosperity just flows into your life. It's prospering with joyous gratitude. And every day for 15 days, I am going to give you a spiritual practice. I'll be putting my practice on the CSL website, my Facebook channel, and also MailChimp. So if you're watching today, give me some love, give me some hearts, give me some smiley faces. If you want to be my MailChimp listener, you're not on the list, just go to my Facebook page. You can message me and give me your email. I'll put you on my list. But make sure like every day you try to hit, it's only going to be a 2-minute video of something that you can do. And if you can find a 30-day practice that really works for you, it is cheap. It's a great bang for your buck, and it really works. It brings prosperity into your life. So I'm just going to give you a sneak peek preview of what one of the practices is. And I read a really fun book. One of my favorite New Thought authors is Pam Grout. She wrote the book E Squared and E Cubed, and I have taught those classes several times. And it's so much fun because she taps into the field of infinite possibility, infinite potentiality, and she gives you exercises that you can actually practice and go, wow, this stuff really works. So she gave an exercise in a book that she wrote called Thanks and Grow Rich. And it is asking the universe every single day for an amazing, awesome blessing. And so I thought, okay, well, I'm going to practice this. This is what I love to do during the Thanksgiving time is have a 30-day practice of blessings. So I said, universe, thank you, God for everything in my life. Bring me an amazing, awesome blessing. So in 2 days, I was leaving to visit my father and my stepmom in Michigan. And when I come back from that trip, I was supposed to do a workshop the following day. And, I could do it. I could have, developed the workshop while I was on the plane and in my free time at my father's house. But that day I asked for an amazing, awesome blessing. My workshop was pushed ahead 1 week. I was like, oh my God, this is an amazing, awesome blessing. So now I can go home and I can be fully present for my father and my stepmother without this, in the back of my mind going, okay, I got to get this workshop done. I got to create this, So I have a whole week to create the workshop. I have lots of material in my head. And I'm super, super excited that the universe gave me an amazing, awesome blessing. Now, the second day, I said, well, you know what? I should ask for another amazing, awesome blessing. But the universe is infinite. There are infinite possibilities, infinite potentiality, and it's unlimited. Why would I just ask for one amazing, awesome blessing? Why don't I ask for two? Right? So I asked for two amazing, awesome blessings. And guess what? I got more than two that day. I received 4 amazing, awesome blessings. And this was the day before I was supposed to leave. I bought a used refrigerator because just like toilet paper and paper towels, you can't find refrigerators these days for a tenant. And the day before I left, his refrigerator broke down. He had to get a cooler and put everything in the cooler. I thought, oh my goodness. So I called the appliance company and they fixed the refrigerator that day. And I was like, oh my God, this is amazing, awesome blessing. And while I was packing, I have my fanny pack that I put into that I was going to take with me on the plane. And I opened up my fanny pack and I found $220 in cash, cold hard cash. I was like, this is an amazing, awesome blessing. And then I took a purse from my closet and a bin that I had, and I put my hand in the purse and I found $25. Oh my God, blessings were pouring all over me. So amazing, awesome blessings. But the thing is, you have to be aware of them and you have to be willing to look for them. So now on my phone, I take my phone and I go to my notes, and every day I write down all the amazing, awesome blessings in my life. And because we are in the world of infinite possibilities, infinite potentiality, you wouldn't believe how many amazing, awesome blessings are pouring into your life. And what you focus on expands. This is what's going on, my friends. So I give you 3 practices today. One is to, did I use the beads? Yeah, the gratitude beads, right? Use either prayer beads or rosary beads and give thanks for everything and everyone in your life, and physical and non-physical, and your animals and your pets and things that are not going well. Give gratitude for, it's called unconditional gratitude, when you're grateful for things that are not going well in your life. And it's amazing how they just unravel. You kind of let it go, let the universe do all the magic for you. And then I have the gratitude jar. That's another practice. Make sure you take that with you. Every night, write something that you're grateful for, because that cements that in to your consciousness, and then ask for that amazing, awesome blessing. And yet amazing how everything will just pour into your life. And if you want to be on my MailChimp list, make sure you message me and I will add you to, or just go to this Facebook page or my personal Facebook page, and I will post the videos there. I'll probably start the videos in a couple days. So in closing, I'm just asking you to be more aware in your life of the gratitude and appreciation that is all around you, knowing that God is infinite and God is self-giving of itself, and God is always expressing itself in all of our lives. And if we just look outside, we can see God in all its fullest and all of its grandness. I mean, look at a flower. and give deep appreciation for that flower, or your animal and look at your animal with deep love. Look at your friends and family with appreciation and gratitude. Look at the trees and the beautiful sky and the moon and the sunset and the sunrise, and just give gratitude for everything and appreciation that you see. So what happens, the gift is that when you are living in this sense of divine love and you're given that energy of gratitude out, the gift is that you receive it back into your life. And this is where you have the thankfulness in your life. Your life becomes full of gratitude, full of love, full of joy. And these are the blessings that continually pour into your life. And with that being said, my friends, let's close our eyes and pray. So I invite you to close your eyes and to go within to this one space, this one power, this one presence, this one essence of love and light and beauty that's continually creating out of itself and through itself. Knowing that God is showing off in so many beautiful ways through the flowers, through the grass, through Mother Nature, Mother Divine, through people, through places, through situations. Knowing that we can just let go and let God and allow God to unravel all the good in our lives. And I know that I am one with this presence of God. I am one with the power. I am the one with the love and the beauty of all that there is right here and right now. As I know this is my perfect truth, I know this is the truth for each person on this call. Each person is divine expression of goodness. Each person is here to give their talents, their good, their love, their joy to the world. And I know what you focus on expands into the world. And as each person gives gratitude for God, gives gratitude for the world, more prosperity, more love, more joy, more happiness pours in to each and every person's life. For you cannot be grateful and unhappy at the same time. And how grateful I am for this awareness that we can choose the thoughts that we think. We can choose to be grateful, or we can choose not to be grateful. I know that each person here opens their heart, their mind, their soul, and chooses gratitude on a regular basis, singing it. Sing to the glory of God. Sing to the love of God. Sing to the joy of God. Sing to the healing presence of God right here and right now. And just allow the flow of gratitude fulfill your life with joy and beauty. As I release my word into the law with a grateful and full heart, overflowing with joy. And so it is. Love you. Make sure you leave me some love, some hearts, some stars, some flowers, some smiley faces, and I'll respond. Stay safe and give gratitude for this pandemic. And so it is.